Welcome to today's episode. I wanted to have a look today at the masculine and feminine energies and what this actually means and how it plays out in our life and what happens when we are not balanced in our masculine and feminine. One thing I think it's really important to know is that no matter if we are a male or a female, we both have masculine and feminine energies. We just have a core energy that is more dominant. So for myself, I resonate with a feminine core energy. Now, just because I'm a female, it doesn't mean that all females resonate with a dominant female energy. There is some females that resonate with a dominant male energy and some males that resonate with a dominant female energy. There is neither not right nor wrong, but what it is important is to understand what is your core energy. So when we look at core energies, some people call this the yin and the yang. It's the opposites that, work well together. When we look at masculinity, we look at direction. We look at logic. We look at a container that holds space for the feminine to flow. We look at the mission. We look at strategy. We look at all these head-based workings of the world. Male energy is present. It's the now. The male energy is freedom. The male energy is purpose-driven. So when we look at the female energy is about feelings. It's about emotion. It's about flow, creativity. The female energy is about intuition and our gut instinct. The female energy is a receiver, where the male is the giver. The female is the healer. So we all have all of this inside of us. But sometimes one or both energies can be wounded. And before I go into the why of this can be wounded, it's really interesting to have a look at when they are wounded, how does that play out in their life? When we have a wounded masculine energy, we become an overdoer, an overthinker, overgiving. We're constantly doing, and giving to others. The emotion that we primarily run with is anger and frustration. We suppress sometimes all other emotions. We can't feel love. We can't feel joy. We're stuck in that logic. It's very easily to get an addictive personality and get addicted to drugs and alcohol and work when our masculinity is wounded. We become over-competitiveness, always fighting to be right. We're doing everything we can to prove ourselves as the top dog. We are seeking external validation, always searching for the people, for the thing to make us feel good, to make us feel better. The love that we attract into our life tends to be more conditional love. I will love you if you do this. I will love you if you look like that. I will love you if you. I will love you if you. On the flip side, when we look at the wounded feminine, the wounded feminine is also numb to feeling. The primary emotions that a wounded feminine runs by is guilt, shame, and fear. We see this a lot in mothers. We as well can be people pleasers, doing everything for others and nothing for ourselves. Filling our cup up last. We just seem to not be able to heal or to access that healer within us. We can't hold space for people. We can't allow people to feel. The wounded feminine tends to be controlling and she finds it extremely difficult to receive. How many women do you know that are not able to receive a compliment? When you tell them they've got a nice dress or their hair is done really nice today, they're, oh, this old thing, or oh, I bought that cheap, somewhere. Or I've washed my hair, that's why it looks so nice. They can't simply take a compliment graciously. Thank you. So these are all signs of a wounded masculine and a wounded feminine. Now, when we look at masculinity and femininity, the masculinity is the father energy, and the femininity is the mother energy. So when we learn these traits on what masculinity is, we get that from our father. And when we learn what femininity is, we receive that from our mother. And we know that it's not directly, but indirectly by the way they act, by how they feel, by the space they hold for us, by the way they interact with themselves and with other people, especially the way our mother and father interact together. These are all ways that show us what masculinity and femininity is. So if you have had a disconnection or a trauma around your parents or one of your parents as you were growing up, you'll find within yourself some of these traits being quite predominant. And what I'll go through in another video is how this affects you as a business owner or a high achiever in achieving what you desire in your life in a balanced way. Now, this overdoer, we see this very lot in corporate. And I get a lot of them in my clinic once they reach burnout. So have a look back at yourself, and the first step to healing is identifying within you that, I do have a wounded masculine, and I do have a wounded feminine. And also that identification of what you resonate with. Do you resonate more as a feminine, or do you resonate more as a masculine? As I mentioned, we both have both energies within us. It just depends which one's our core driving energy. So I hope that's helped you today, and please feel free to share this with any of your friends that know they could also benefit from learning and understanding about their masculinity.